Hello, Gedankenchaos. I know it's been a long time since I last reached out. Even though I have so much more to tell, I just didn't know how and where to start. Once again, my perfectionism did a complete job. So much has changed in the last few days, weeks, or rather months. A lot of positives. But also many negatives. In the first few months, it wasn't even mainly about me, but about the current events around the world. The more I read and saw about how others were faring, much worse than me, that I could be grateful for living a privileged life without war, the more I fell into this sad hole and just couldn't get out. I was constantly watching the news. It was like a drug. That's why I had to keep a healthy distance from everything and give myself the peace I definitely needed. Weltschmerz. It wasn't easy because just when I was climbing out of the abyss of world pain, more things happened that weighed heavily on me and led to my self-doubts and the perfectionism within me growing larger and taking over. Moreover, I had difficulties maintaining deep relationships that lasted, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but sometimes I just feel out of place and misunderstood by many people. I admit, maybe I am part of the problem, but no matter how hard I try to work on myself, I am simply never enough. Not for me, not for others. It's disappointing and ultimately reflects not only on my behavior, but also on that of others, because I don't set personal boundaries. And if I do, it's usually too late or much too exaggerated. It leads to me getting hurt or accidentally hurting others. That's why I'll spare you another topic, namely the big family drama that stretched over weeks. But that's a different story. Maybe you know what I mean. You get involved even though you want nothing to do with it. So, as you can see, you've missed a lot. In the following months, I ran through a winter depression just like every year. It was damn annoying. After I stopped feeling responsible for others and started focusing on myself, I hit another low point. Hello, self-pity. At that time, I lost any awareness of my own thoughts. I only felt sadness and listlessness. As trivial as this sentence may sound, I didn't even feel like binge-watching any series on streaming services, my favorite pastime. But especially I couldn't pursue my passions, which I actually love so much in life and which give it meaning. Yet, despite the setbacks, there's always a glimmer of hope that is sometimes overlooked. It's really there. Because as soon as an old door closes, a new one always opens again, and you still find ways to continue, to appreciate, enjoy, or at least escape the seasonal winter depression. Most of the time, this happens just like that, without being prepared for it, and having to change rigorously for others or yourself, because life is full of surprises in all its facets. You know, Gedankenchaos, I always thought I had no true friends. From those I thought, well, they turned their backs on me and deeply betrayed my trust. I've never felt so stupid, so naive, so betrayed. But instead of venting to you, I went to the next best people who were around me out of desperation and cried on their shoulders for hours. I tell you, it was the first time I felt so understood, loved and accepted. Because I opened up for the first time, and I don't mean just in communication, but in my inner life. I let down my wall that I had built for years out of fear of rejection. No sugarcoating, neither presenting myself better nor downplaying the facts. I also named my possible mistakes and reasons for the trigger, but none of that mattered to them at the moment. They were simply there for me.
Okay, dann macht ihr euch bitte bereit? Oh. Gut. 3, 2, 1.
Ey, da muss ich gleich reinlegen!
Ich bin doch verdeckt, du Trottel.
Das passt schon.
After all the incidents, I had a realization, and not just with the empathetic exchange of others. I've long been aware that I'm a very insecure person, going through life with a lack of personal boundaries. Because I don't see myself as valuable enough, lovable enough, creative enough. But that's all just unfounded fear, a mere feeling. It simply doesn't match reality. I believe that quite a lot of people are as delusional as I am. And honestly, this comparison doesn't comfort me at all or satisfy me in any way. It's just complicated. Because of all these insecurities, I simply never listened to my intuition and gut feeling, but constantly ignored them. This made it not only difficult for me to make decisions regarding my own desires and needs, but also led to severe consequences. But there's always a good side. Always. I can only learn from these mistakes, and I hope I have. For the first time, and I know I say this often, I sought help when I needed it most. And even if it was due to desperation, it also required a lot of courage. It's no shame. I don't have to be ashamed, because I realized that I'm not as damn lonely and alone as I always thought. And maybe there's still a tiny chance of having found friends for life who don't lie to your face or judge you for what you are or not at all.
Oh mein Gott.
Ich muss raus.
Wie macht man eine Modelpose?
What I ultimately want to say is, I've recognized new qualities in myself. Apparently, I do have my own boundaries, and I just didn't perceive them because of insecurities. It's totally mind-blowing, really, since I always thought I had the ability to reflect on myself. Little did I know. And suddenly, I find myself in the midst of a new phase of life. Through this realization, you risk new things to get a bit closer to your dreams and finally dare to step out of your comfort zone. And even though you're constantly confronted with blows of fate over, which you have no control and which therefore burden you, you learn to deal with them over time. But I don't care about that at the moment. That's perfectly fine. Because what's important is what's under my control, and I'm ready to take it over. I believe I'm finally ready to work on myself, to embark on new paths and to try out new things, to be more focused. Part of me may not believe it, but another part wants to, desperately. Believe me, I love to attribute these thoughts to my own stupidity and naivety. because it scares me a bit being hurt again or failing. For the first time in my life, I actually feel like I've done something right. Not much, but I'm on the right track. I want to listen to myself more and not feel responsible for everything and everyone, even if it's just for a moment. And I'm curious about what the future holds. With love,